All right, everybody, welcome back to BrainFLoTv. And this morning we are going to be cooking a healthy alternative to scrambled eggs. So these are the things you're going to need right here. They're all laid out for you. I've got some thyme, some mushrooms, scallion. You've seen the meat cleaver or the chopper then, for those who don't use meat. Hot pepper, onion, a tomato. You're going to need a pinch of salt. Although this is more than a pinch, but I'm cooking quite a bit of it today. And I know I said I wasn't going to use tofu anymore. You'll need firm tofu and you'll need some curry powder. No, I said I wasn't going to use tofu anymore, but I've done my research. It's okay for men to use tofu, just not too much of it. So you're going to need a fork, and this is what you're going to do with the fork right here. By doing this to the tofu, it's going to give it the texture, not texture, but the consistency of a scrambled eggs. So as you can see, I'm crushing it first. I actually tried putting this in a blender and doing it, and the blender just went bzzz, but the tofu never moved. So I figured out another way to do it, which was to just crush it with a fork, and it takes literally less than a minute to do a whole block of tofu right there, as you can see. Now, you're going to need a non-stick pan, right? And put that on the stove. Let the pan heat up while I get to my business. Gonna need some oil. Put a little bit of oil in the pan. Not too much, just a drop, and then that's it. You don't want to cook with too much oil. All right. I like to break my thyme up into it first, or just strip the stems of the thyme and use the thyme leaves alone. Because, of course, you can't eat the stems of the thyme. And when you get it in your food, you have to normally take it out anyways. But thyme is really nice flavoring. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut my mushrooms into pieces. You don't want to mince them too fine, but you don't want to leave it too big either. Just a nice complement. My hot pepper. Go ahead and I cook with a lot of pepper. I love pepper. You don't have to put pepper in there if you don't want to. Not everybody likes their food spicy. But if it's going to be done my way, it's definitely going to have pepper and onions. So here we are cutting up the vegetables, the peppers, the onions. And now the pot is... That pot you see over there boiling, I'm cooking something for my daughter. That's a totally different pot. So don't think that my pot is smoking with the oil. All right? It's not. That's the other pot. The silver pot is smoking with the oil. So I'm multitasking here. Get the tomato, and my scallion all minced up. And we are ready to rock and roll. All right, so the tofu is in the pot, and you're going to stir it around. And you want the tofu to be in the pot for about 10 minutes on about medium high before you put all the other ingredients in. So I'm adding the curry to the tofu after it had already been on the stove for about 4 to 5 minutes. And probably should have added it in earlier. It doesn't matter if you add it in right when it goes in or you add it in. I didn't want the curry powder soaking into the oil. I wanted it on the tofu. So I put it in like 4 or 5 minutes earlier. Tofu takes a bit longer to cook than eggs. So you're going to be there for about 15, 20 minutes doing this. But that's what it looks like. And as you can see, it has the consistency of scrambled eggs. It looks like scrambled eggs. And all it is curry tofu, right? It looks like scrambled eggs. And we're going to go ahead and let it cook some more. I like to have it really well cooked. Even when I'm eating eggs, I like to have my eggs well done. These are all my ingredients. You can see what they look like after they're chopped up. I didn't use a whole tomato. I just used a half of it. And again, I'm going to let the tofu cook a little while longer before adding all the other ingredients. You notice I have not added any ingredients as of yet. It's just cooking. And just like scrambled eggs, where you have to keep moving it around in the pot, it's the same technique you're going to apply to doing the tofu. And the stove should be on about medium high right now, not all the way high. All right, so we're gonna go ahead now and add all the other ingredients to the pot, right? And yes, just add everything all at once. I don't want to waste a bit. I'm making sure everything comes off that board. My salt, sea salt, by the way. And this is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and mix everything in together. Get a good mix going and let it continue to cook. So you want your onions and your scallions and all that stuff you don't want them to get mushy, soft, but you do want them to be somewhat cooked. So the flavoring is in the tofu. And that's what it should look like right here. When it's all said and done, that from the point you put the other ingredients in to the point where you're finished should take about another 5 to 8 minutes. And there you have it. Tofu, scrambled tofu for breakfast. And right here, I don't know why I did this, but it was hot. Hot. It's just like Jamaicans when we eat a beef patty, we be like, I don't know why. They just bite into a hot beef patty instead of waiting for it to cool. It's something about, it's the same thing here. It's hot, but it is so good. All right. Enjoy. And stay tuned to the channel. This was my breakfast that morning. And stay tuned to the channel for other videos where we'll be cooking other things. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.